What up, what up? Long time no see. I know I didn't upload in a minute. Just trying to get my thoughts together, but it's gonna be a pretty good one. Probably gonna be one of my better ones. This video is pretty much gonna be encouraging people to move to Cleveland, Cleveland, Ohio, to be exact. I'm gonna tell you why. It might not be for the reasons you think you should, but I think hopefully some of my previous videos and this one as well is gonna give you a good picture of why. It's not, like I said, it's not gonna be for what you think it is, but give you a little bit of background about why I'm making this video. As you know, it's 2025. Things. The 2020s haven't been overall like the best years when it comes to society and how we are kind of drifting away from each other. We're kind of going at each other, kind of going to war. There's multiple wars going on: gender wars, race wars, all different types of wars, economic, whole bunch of that good stuff that's been going on and really being exposed. A lot of people are kind of showing their asses right now and really standing on business, which I love to see. Honestly, I love to see people actually take a stand and really talk about what they believe in and really be about it, because we definitely need more authentic people in today's world. So many inauthentic people walking around pretending to be people who they're not, and that's going to be like a really big topic of today's video. And I made a video about authenticity before, but this one's going to kind of be in the same vein as that one. But I've just in my life, what I've seen in 31 years of me being on this planet, I have definitely seen a lot of people pretending to be something that they're not, and it's definitely shown me and given me a lot of guidance of not being that person. How I see the world and the information that I've received is pretty much you have to live in accordance of nature. Like there is a natural order of things. A lot of people think like hierarchies and all that kind of stuff. I don't really think of the world that way. I think we're all shoulder to shoulder to each other. We all have our strengths and weaknesses that we all kind of have to use and kind of cohabitate with each other and understand that, yeah, certain races of people are good at some things and not so great at other things. Certain genders are good at this thing and not that thing. But overall, we're like 95% the same. We were just kind of hyper focusing on the differences that we have for each other or between each other. But because of that, because of us hyper focusing on those small things, there's a whole lot of peacocking going on. A whole lot of people pretending to be someone that they're not, and how dangerous that is. How extremely dangerous that is. I'm not. I've only lived in Cleveland my whole life. I've been to other cities. I stayed there for extended period of time. I've even been out of the country a few times, and I just noticed here in Cleveland, Ohio, there is a huge lack of authenticity. Right? People are not very authentic here, and as someone who I feel like is pretty authentic, I feel like I come across as a pretty genuine dude. My intentions are always pure. They're not right. They're not wrong. They're not good. They're not bad. They're just pure. You know what I'm saying? I kind of, people told me I'm a pretty straight shooter. I kind of say what I need to say. I try to be as kind as possible. I don't want to be like an asshole all the time, even though I know I am one. And I know I can also be like a gentleman and be like a pretty kind, decent person at the same time. But I try to be as authentic as I possibly can, because for what I've seen from people who aren't being authentic, it ruins their lives. It kind of rottens them from the inside out. And it seems to be like irreversible as well. The more years you spend being inauthentic, you got to use that same time on getting that authenticity back to really kind of catch you up with everyone else, because you're never really going to get to where you need to go or achieve any of your goals by being inauthentic. Truly, in the long term. In the short term, you'll get there, but you can't, allow money, status, fame, power to mask who you actually are. Who you are is always going to shine through, and there's no pretending, you know. I've always lived my life, or did my best to live my life in accordance to nature, to Mother Nature to be exact, because she's who we have to answer to at the end of the day. There's a reason why all these national, uh, I won't say events, I don't want to call them tragedies, because what's going on in LA with the fires, what's going on in Europe, India, all over the place. A lot of events are going on right now, and I can't say they're disasters. I gotta say that it's just nature running this course. You know, me and an ex, we were planning on moving, all of us. She had kids. We were planning on moving all of us from Cleveland to Maui, which is one of the islands in Hawaii, because she had a cousin that lived there for a extended period of time, 10 plus years, and we just want to go there, kind of live it up in paradise for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here and try to move away from all these issues and problems that's going on over here. And we went out there. It was during COVID, I believe, maybe like around March. We went out there for I think like 5 or 6 days. It was very nice. It was beautiful. A lot of culture there. But one thing that I didn't notice was the displacement of the natives there. There's a lot of them that were homeless, a lot of them that were strung out, dealing with all types of problems and issues. And there was definitely a huge concentration of non-Hawaiians living there. A lot of them were older white people living there. It was definitely like a very touristy island. You know what I'm saying? It definitely, I don't think, was like a huge. It wasn't very indicative of what Hawaii is or what Hawaii was. Definitely got heavily gentrified. But we were still planning on moving out there. So my main thing was, sure, me and her were only together for like about maybe a year and a half or so. And I had my reservations about our relationship, but I felt better knowing that her cousin was going to be there. There was going to be someone to show us around, and also have someone for her to kind of confide in, because I knew that she struggled with making friends, and she was it just made me feel better. I wasn't going to be like that rock to keep that together on like an island by myself, essentially. That wasn't something I felt too comfortable with, especially with the kids there as well. Like I'm kind of in uncharted waters. But anyway, we ended up finding out, later on that year, that he was planning on moving back to the mainland, and he wasn't actually going to be staying out there, which was a huge hit to us, because he was like the main reason we were going out there. We were going to kind of be following his lead, and he was going to kind of help us build out there, kind of get our own careers going and all that. And he kind of didn't really let us know that he was actually planning on leaving Maui, and she still wanted to go there. It seemed like, in my opinion, despite him. And something inside of me said, like, no, we cannot go there because of this. This is a big move. It's not just us two. It's us two and kids and children. This is not a very wise decision to make. She was very gung ho about it. I'm like, no, we go someplace else. This is not the time. We can go later, at a later date. But now, especially now that our original game plan isn't going to work out, this kind of shut that whole thing down. And fast forward a few years, you had those huge fires, those wildfires in Maui, in Lahaina actually as well. That was the city that we were going to be living in, and that got decimated. And that would have been us if we would have went. That very well could have been us in that. But since both of us, in my opinion, since both of us live pretty close to nature and to the accordance of Mother Nature, that's why we got spared. That's the way I look at it, at least. We got spared because we just knew, at least I knew, I'll speak for myself, I knew that wasn't the right time, especially what I saw there, and like the displacement of the natives. If I were going to go there, I was going to figure out how can I help in any way, shape, or form, get them to get more representation and more access back to the things that made Maui, Maui, that made Hawaii, Hawaii. they made it that way. We kind of, and I'll even put myself in that category, we're kind of just going in there because we have the more resources and just basically out buying them and being in displacing them. This gentrification, and that didn't really sit well with me, especially being from here, from Cleveland. I see it here as well. So that was a big wake up call for me of when I was there and not really feeling too gung ho about moving out there, especially since he left. Even before then, I really have my reservations because that kind of didn't sit well with me about how the natives were. Uh, they weren't treated all that bad, but at the same time, they were trying to fight for a spot on the table. Like, they made the table. This is their table. They're trying to fight for a seat at their own table. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And that definitely kept me on the straight and narrow of living in accordance to nature. Because over there in Maui, there wasn't a whole lot of natural things going over there. The environment was very natural, but the people there, they were kind of abiding by their own rules. And that's America in a nutshell. We just kind of do not really respect nature all that much. At least the people who have power here. We just kind of just do whatever we want. And chickens always come home to roost. We're always dealing with the remnants of that, of people not wanting to live in accordance to nature. There is definitely a higher calling. I'm not even religious at all, but there's always something bigger than all of us. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to act like your life and your loved ones is over somebody else, you got to prove it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you got to prove that my life is more important than yours. Cause I don't see the world that way. I do not put myself above anybody else. I mind my own business. I keep my head down. I do what I got to do, right? And I do right by other people. I do not plot. I do not scheme. I do not. Yeah, I don't worry about anybody else other than myself. You know what I'm saying? And everyone who's wronged me, at least consciously, I don't do anything to do anything to them. I just know that by you playing God, you are going to have to answer for that. And a lot of people have been playing God with my life and the life of people around me, and have been, and I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to warning people about playing God and being someone that you're not. This is not the time to be doing that. Not now. Not in the 2020s. This is the fuck around and find out era. You know what I'm saying? If you are not who you say you are, you are going to need to show some credentials. You know what I'm saying? Show me the Carfax. Let me know who you are. None of this peacocking. Take all that nonsense off. Get rid of all that status and money. You got to really be about it in today's age. You know what I'm saying? You can't be hiding no more. Hiding in the dark and expecting that's actually going to get you where you need to go. Rent's due every single day. It's due every single day. You got to pay up eventually. So you can't keep ducking it. You got to pay up. So when you are living accordance to nature, in accordance to God, you will be judged. But if you live in accordance to that, you will be spared. And I am definitely grateful for the people who have spared me, and not the people who have spared me, but the people who understand that I live in accordance to nature, and they let nature run its course. And a lot of people don't get in my way. A lot of people just let me do what I got to do. But because of who I am and how gifted I am, a lot of the gifts that I have are things that I just were born with. And I try to do the best I can with those gifts to not abuse people and to manipulate people and to get what I want at any means necessary. I definitely try to be as fair or as honest about it, as pure about it as I possibly can. I'm definitely not perfect, but for the most part, I feel like I've done a good job of making sure to live in accordance to nature and not overstep my boundaries, overreach anybody, because I know where that leads if you make a habit of that. So the reason why I said earlier that video is pretty much a kind of an advertisement for people to come to Cleveland is because people who are very authentic, people who are living in accordance to nature are very much needed here. Cleveland is a very, very miserable city. I think I made a video about this. If not, I'll I might make one later on. A lot of people here are very disgruntled. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a whole lot to look forward to. It's very unfortunate because it's so much natural beauty here, so much potential here. It's insane, but so many people don't know about it because it's a hidden gem. Cleveland, you know, the food here is great. The people here are great. The weather, you get all seasons here, which is a blessing. So many places don't even get to get like two, maybe three. We get all of them. And sure, we don't get sunshine all that often. It's all overcast on the days. Our winters can be pretty brutal. You know, it can be snow in May. It can be, 90 degrees in November. You know what I'm saying? It just fluctuates all over the place. But resource wise, we got a lot. The standard of living is really, really low. I think it's somewhere like in the top 10, depending on who you ask. It's, yeah, if you're willing to live in accordance of nature and just kind of bring your best here, you will be rewarded. You know, I look at Cleveland like the hyperbolic time chamber of cities. You know, one day here, it's like a month in LA. You know what I'm saying? Like you experience everything here. You know, I've seen quite a bit in my 31 years of this life, and more people are going to know what I've seen and what I've been through, and it made me the man that I am now. So I can't really duck it. I can't really be mad at nobody for what they've done or said or whatever because it was for my benefit. You know, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for those people. So I'm very grateful for being who I am and experience what I've experienced. And I want other people to come here. You know, a lot of people want to duck the smoke and don't want to see that other animalistic side of ourselves. You know, we all want to be, grab hands, hold hands, and sing Kumbaya, which sounds really good in theory, in short term, but in long term, we have a lot of grievances we got to get through. We have a lot of disagreements and just there's definitely an in order going on. There's things are not, people just aren't, like I said, they aren't living in accordance with nature. They think that they can just buy their way to whatever they want, and that's not how things work. That is not how things work. As humans, as animals, we have to do things in a certain way. And it's easy for me to say, like I said, I'm a very naturally gifted person. I have more gifts than the average person does. I'm 6'2", a dark-skinned, handsome black man. And I feel like I'm pretty intelligent. And all those things were given to me. I did not earn those things. I didn't work hard for them. So I understand that I can't be out here, my chest out, walking around like I'm better than other people. I know people feel that way. They feel like because I'm pretty, I keep to myself, like I said. I don't keep my head down. I don't really say a whole lot. A lot of people view that confidence as arrogance, which, it could be, I guess. I definitely don't want to be out here peacocking and out here, act like a clown, making people feel better about themselves by putting myself down. I'm not going to do that, but at the same time, I'm not going to put you down either. I'm not going to make you feel less than. Only you can do that. At the end of the day, my presence should not make you feel worse than what make you feel worse about yourself. That's not my goal. It's not my ambition. I try not to do that as much as humanly possible. So it's like I understand that I am allowed to exist and live. You can't erase who I am. You can't erase any of us of what we've done because that's not your job. You're not God. You're you. He's him. She's her. I'm me. We just kind of have to live according to nature. If you want something bad to happen to somebody, the fact that you want that is you're already out of pocket. But if something's bad going to happen to somebody, it's going to happen. You can't do it yourself. You're going to curse yourself and everyone around you. You're going to bring them all down with you. And I've seen it with my own eyes here in Cleveland. So many people peacocking and pretending to be him or her or whatever God is, and they got judged hard. You know what I'm saying? Like they lost loved ones. They've. I saw who they were before they started passing judgment on me and people like me, and I saw them afterwards. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I would not wish that on my worst enemy at all. It's like from my perspective, it's like watching like the Final Destination movies. Seeing everyone get taken out in a terrible, horrific way, but then it being like a vision, right? And you try to warn these people, like, hey, can't really do anything about it. Trying to get them to live in accordance to nature, especially people who are like right there next to you, like adjacent to you. Like, hey, you should not be doing this. Not should be, but hey, man, think about this, think about that. Just kind of slow down, hold up. You're doing a little bit too much. You're all right. You're good enough. And because of who they were around and their environment and who their parents are, so many things that are out of our control. Those people just end up crashing out, and they're this kind of shells in themselves, and they need someone to blame, and sometimes that person is me, even though I'm like, I didn't do that to you. Unfortunately, I was just existing, and you did it to yourself. I just didn't intervene because that's not my role. I warned you, but I can't keep you from being you. I can't babysit you. I can't go to your house and make sure you're doing the right thing every single day. That's your job, unfortunately. Or it's not my job. I'm not sure. I'm saying whose job it is. It's not my job to do that. I wasn't put on this earth to make sure you're not doing those things. So, but if you live in accordance to nature here in Cleveland, man, you are going to get so much out of it. It's insane. It is insane. You are going to be very wise for your age. You're just going to know so much about life because it's not a joke here in Cleveland at all. At all. You know what I'm saying? It is very real out here. You would definitely be reminded of your humanity living in Cleveland, Ohio, for sure. And no matter what parts of it, I'm not saying it's dangerous. I mean, it is dangerous. Has its bad areas like everywhere else, but the corruption that's still here, like I said, the misery that's still here, and the depths that people will go to keep this circus, this clown show going is insane. And I will bring all that to light. I think I did a little bit in the other previous videos, but all that will come to light, and that's why I'm making this video now to tell people to come on down here, because we need people with courage, people who are about something, and people who are living in accordance to nature here in Cleveland, Ohio. You are very much needed and wanted. I've been telling people ever since I've been traveling and going to all the places about Cleveland and coming here and seeing what it's about. I've been wanting more people like me here because we are needed, very, very much so. And the frustrating thing about it is I've always seen very talented people born here, but since the infrastructure here, it depends on like where your niche is, but for the arts and entrepreneurship and even tech, there isn't that infrastructure here to become this very successful person. And I want to, at least as a Clevelander, as a homegrown Clevelander, tell people like, yeah, you're not going to become a multi-millionaire probably here in Cleveland. You're just not. Even LeBron struggled doing that when he was here. But now that people are understanding how worthless money really is, and status and power can't really replace who you are, you know what I'm saying? And authenticity is pretty much going to get you everything you ever wanted and everywhere you want to go. There's no better place to get authenticity than in Cleveland. And Cleveland is the most authentic city in the world. It really, really is. The people here aren't, but the city is. And if you live here, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? With the nature, the weather, how things are ran here. It's very authentic. It's very real. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's fair. It's very real. There isn't a whole lot of smoke screens going on here. It is what it is. Get in where you fit in type shit. And I love it for it. I truly do. I love the fact that things are not, you're now living in this fake paradise, as you see in the coast, California, Florida, New York, those places where, yeah, they have their own problems, their own issues, but there is like a smoke screen. There is like something in the air that makes people feel like shit sweet out here. And it's not at all. We are definitely living in one of the most prosperous countries in the world during the most prosperous times in the world. There's a lot of opportunities right now, and pretending and putting on a performance and not being authentic about it, it's not going to get you where you want to go. Trust me, you're going to get somewhere. It ain't going to be where you think it is. We're seeing that right now. A lot of people are getting exposed. Last year, that was the beginning of it, 2024. It's only going to be more of that, 25, 26, 27. A whole lot of people are going to get exposed. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The light's coming. Everyone's out here doing a whole bunch of fuckery in the dark. The light's coming real quick. It's going to be out here, and it's going to expose a whole lot of people. So you definitely need to be doing right, not only by yourself, but to everyone around you, to nature. Really get back to nature. Really understand that karma is real. It truly, truly is. We all have a conscience. Some of us are more in tune with it than others, but we all have a conscience. And doing wrong, not doing right by people and yourself is going to destroy you. And I see it all the time, man. That's why I'm saying it's not a game out here in Cleveland. If you got it, you'll be all right. If you don't got it, man, this city is going to swallow you whole. It really, really is. It's not going to let up. It's not going to allow you to escape. It's like, nah, there's rules to this. There are natural rules to life. And Cleveland is definitely one of those places where it's like, if you do not live according to the accordance of nature, you will have to answer for that. You will. But if you are, the blessings are just going to be non-stop. It's going to be insane how blessed you're going to be, to where you're just going to wake up every single day and understand those blessings. Just wake up and just be grateful that you're here. You got another year. You got another chance at greatness. You know what I'm saying? Every day you're making history. Every day is history. And you have an opportunity here in Cleveland just to make a whole bunch of, a massive amount of history here. So much untapped potential here. But it goes back to this people just pretending to be someone who they're not. And when you do that, you no longer receive the protection that nature will give you. Nature will protect you. Nature will choose to be like, hey, don't do nothing to that one. Leave that one alone. That one's got something. That one is on a mission that's bigger than themselves. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your feelings get in the way of that. Jealousy and envy can be very, very productive, but it can also be your worst enemy if you allow it to overtake your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Especially fear. Don't let those fears blind you from the truth. You know what I'm saying? But this is a lot of people just playing God. A lot of people really, really just thinking that they can just control nature because of how they feel, what they deserve. And it's just like, but that's not how life works. That's not how history has gone. You know what I'm saying? The closer you are to nature, man, the more protected you are from all this nonsense out here. And you just gotta worry about yourself, worry about your loved ones. Just don't do wrong by people. Just don't. If they do wrong by you, like, okay. I hope you're God. I really hope you're God, because that's the only person that's gonna save you, or who God is. And they can pardon your ass and be like, hey, that one's good. If they can do that, cool. But if you ain't God and you don't know God, you'll have to pay up. Eventually, you'll have to pay up. So, just seeing that with my friends, family, people around me, like I'm saying, like this is like a selfish thing for me. I really, really want more people here who are really about something. You know what I'm saying? Not really willing to give into the fear, the peacocking, the intimidation. Just like it's all false. It's all not real. It's all a smoke screen, and it's done by a lot of people who want to play God, who want to think that they're better than other people, who want to drink the Kool-Aid and think like, oh yeah, I'm the greatest thing ever walking. Like, no, you're not. You're just part of something. We're all just part of something bigger than us, and some people know that, and some people don't. Some people want to live